to Africa Day. In our midst, we are going to have some words of wisdom from Dr. David Malinda. He's the president of ACOSA. He's going to talk to us about Africa Day.
Okay, I'll start the evening now, after the music. The Minister for Multicultural Affairs, the Honorable Zoe Benson, and her husband Isaac, Mr. Michael Coxon, City of West Torrens, Mayor, Deputy Mayor of Port Adelaide, Enfield, the officials of the organizing committee, Paul Russell, representatives of other organizations, my fellow Africans, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I begin with acknowledging that we are gathering in the land of the Kaurna people, the original custodian of this country we now call home. I acknowledge the deep feelings of attachment and relationship of Aboriginal people to country. Secondly, I stand before you first as an African, and secondly as the president of the African Community Organization South Australia, the first umbrella organization which was incorporated in 1987. My fellow Africans, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased and proud to be speaking to you on Africa Day. I would like to speak for a few minutes about how important this day is to us Africans. Before I forget, my wife, who could not be with me today due to illness, passes greetings to you all. And to begin with, Africa's celebration its 60th day with pride. This year marks the 60th anniversary of the establishment of the Organization of Africa Unit of 55 African nations. Although African communities are scattered around the globe, we still love and call Africa home. The resultant of the preceding statement made Africa proud to this day. However, we should remember that Africa is the richest continent on earth. Let us first pay homage to all our leaders who made large sacrifices to secure freedom for our African countries, and they are many. Africa Union binds us as a continent, bringing people together and give us power on the world stage. I stand before you now knowing that our forefathers have paved the way for our continent to be proud of in its independence from the rest of the world. The colonialism of many African countries is now itself but a record of history. What remains now is just helping each other. Every year we celebrate Africa Union with great dignity as well as joy and justifiable so, as it commemorates that day when, as many years as subjugation, our countries joined hands. Indeed, in the annal history, 1963 will always be remembered as a day of extraordinary accomplishment of when Organization of Africa Unit was formed, and later, 2002, changed to Africa Union. We should keep in mind that we are the inheritors of our great civilization, whose legacy has been passed on from generation to generation. We are reminded through science now and then that mankind started in Africa. We can be worthy heirs if we follow in the true sense the ideals of political, social, and economical justice. Lip service will not do. We have to be ardent adherers adherents, we are also duty-bound to pass on this rich inheritance to our young generation throughout Africa. Africans, wherever they are, must be law-abiding and also work for moral upliftment. I mention this because with an increasing emphasis on materialism, there is growing insensitivity towards each other. Strong family bonds are weakening, especially when we leave our motherlands to look for greener pastures. Social consciousness is on the decline. Some social evils persist. This must change for betterment of mankind. Climate change and food security is a great threat to humanity. We must play a greater part. Tomorrow's Africa will be constructed by the hard work of today. I call on everyone in diaspora to contribute to making the future of Africa stronger and brighter. Let everyone understand their role and responsibility to achieve this. Nation building demands the ability to work diligently and patiently, where the reward is the growth of work. Those who choose wisely and responsibly have a far greater likelihood of success, while those who choose foolishly and irresponsibly have a far greater likelihood of failure. I have not seen a failed person who is happy. Remember, happiness is not a goal, it is a byproduct, and education is the backbone of success because it replaces an empty mind with an open one. With that, I remind all here today to never miss an opportunity. But whatever we do, let us do it together as a knitted community. I have to remind everyone what Dr. David Suzuki said, and I quote, "We are in a giant car heading towards a brick wall and everyone arguing over where they are going to sit." Remember that we are all Australians, whether we are Africans or Australians, indigenous Australians or mainstream Australians. So let us make whatever we do work. What we have witnessed in many years as African community in South Australia are a result from hard-working people. Yes, from hard-working people. These initiatives have done African proud. I always remind people that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. If there are shortcomings, don't despair. Take it as a lesson for better planning. And at that point, I conclude my speech. And thank you very much for attending Africa Day celebrations today. Thank you.